Hey guys, Kickassreaction here, and today we are going to be finishing off the Danganronpa 3 anime. This was technically meant to be 2 sets left of 11-11 and then 12 and the final episode of the anime being Hope. But I think I'm ready now. I think it's time to end off the anime. I think it's gone on long enough. So we're going to combine those 2 sets into one, and we're going to do a 4-episode set to end off Danganronpa. Oh boy, this is big. This is very, very big. Last time we lost Kyoko Kirigiri. Like, the most, like, our main girl role in, like, Danganronpa. Which is crazy to think about. We also got the foregone conclusion that we were all expecting in Chiaki Nanami. Both those two died last time. And we have 4 episodes to go. Very, very curious to see what we do end up going with this. Not sure exactly what to expect for the finale of the Despair arc. I genuinely don't have a prediction for that. Not really for this either, because we ended the conclusion with Kyosuke. So Kyosuke is kind of done with his mindset of tearing apart Hope, or tearing apart Despair, and fighting for Hope. He's now ready to look for Hope in the sense of what Makoto does for it. And I'm really curious just how we go about this, because, like, all we have to do now is reveal the traitor and the mastermind, and we're done. So I'm really curious to see what we do end up going with that. Don't really have a big speech or anything to say at the start of this video. I do just want to get into this, so yeah, let's just do that. Alright, guys. Future 11. Let's see where we go. Don't show me that door. Who wants to see that door? Are you crazy? Maybe I do want to see that door. What the hell? You're gonna... Oh! You're gonna give us the... Yo! You're giving us the reaction we've waited for since the end of fucking DR1. Since the end of DR1, we've been waiting to see this. A bit late for a flashback, innit? Yeah, Juzo lied to you. And she was like a mole, a despair herself. Yep. Wow. I'm at least glad we got this. I'm glad we got, like, the direct aftermath of the end of DR1. Dude. And the manipulation. Oh, he realized. Oh, that's why he fully put his foot down on ending Chiso's, because he realized how long he was manipulated. No OP. Interesting, it's not even the final episode yet. All good things. All good things. Okay. Okay. Let's see it. It's just so... I'm still not used to, like... still not used to seeing red blood. It's so weird because, like, they still use the pink in the Despair arc. Inconsistencies, man. Details, woman. Okay. What? How do you... What? It was strung up! I beg your pardon? Some of them were strung up on walls and shit. That's not possible. So, it was brainwashing? Again?
あの時もそうだ。きっと他の人の時もそうなんだ。
How gee, my god.
犠牲者
Ruka did that.
必ずモニターが。
Huh.
じゃあモニターが自殺と関係して。
They were brainwashed. So they you what? What? How? Like genuinely how?
宗方さん、お願いがあります。
So it's gotta be Mitarai then, right? That's it.
やっぱりやめた方がいいって。苗木の推理通りだったら死んじゃうんだよ。
だからこうやって自殺しないように縛ってもらったんじゃないか。
Oh wow, that's deadly.
それはそうだけど。
そろそろタイムリミットだよ。行かないと。
Okay.
ねえ、まさか京子ちゃんがあんなことになってやけになってるわけじゃないよね。
Wow.
それで死んだりしたら、それこそキリギリさんに怒られちゃうよ。
Yeah, well, you know, it's not like someone like gave their own life for Kurogiri to live, and then she died, and if she died for you, and then you died right after that, would kind of be like dominoes.
最後まで希望を諦めなかったんだ。だったら僕が希望を投げ出すわけにはいかないよ。
So no one
それに
was killing each other.
それに
困ると約束したからね。全部終わったら迎えに行くって。
That's fair. That's fair.
だから僕は生き延びてみせる。
This is tense. Like, very tense. Just waiting to pass
自
out.
殺。もしそれが真実なら。
Yep.
苗
Here we go. See you in a minute. Imagine if he did find a way to kill himself, though. So this was just a rigged game entirely. There was never anyone to find.
お待たせ。襲撃者さん起きてる？お待ちかねの襲撃タイムだよ。
Oh my god.
さあ、今日のターゲットは誰かな？お、襲撃者さん見て。え、襲撃者じゃなくて？
このバングルがモニターとの距離を計測して。モノクマ、何を進む？
最初はみんなそう言うんだよね。でも襲撃者も悪くないよ。
It's a pre-recorded message.
なんと
Did the mastermind die?
録画。
Because that's like the one thing in Danganronpa we haven't had happen yet, is the mastermind die before the game ends.
よーく見てな。
Oh dear. It's the video. Gloom. Oh. Yo! Oh my god, these finally come up! Monokuma's like, I forgot what they're called, break time events? Whatever. Once you go to sleep at night, that's actually really funny. Monokuma's fun little facts. That's just creepy. Hi.
まだ生きてるの？
Yes. Yo! Yo! Oh my god, you have been gone for a while.
学園から出してくれるって言いましたよね。
That is insane.
あなたのせいよ。
It's like the two girls from his life when he was a kid and when he's like modern day. Let's go. Oh, 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 all of them. Celestia, let's go. Mukuro. No Mukuro, actually.
なんなんだよ
That's
これ
actually kind of upsetting.
なぜあなたが生きてるの？なんで苗木くんが生きてるんですか？
Seeing them again, even if it's for the final time.
あなたが死んでくれればよかったの。
Oh my god. Oh, that's beautiful.
僕は
So this is how they get you?
僕はただみんなを
Yep, yep.
みんな
No! Don't show me Celeste again! Mondo Butter, that's sick! Didn't think I'd see Butter Man again. Now just imagine if he did find a way to end it. He could bite his tongue, for crying out loud. Did you think of that? He could bite his tongue. Bash his head in. Get a knife. Yeah.
そう、それでいいのよ。一緒に来て。
God. Come with us. I like how Junko and Mukuro are actually not part of his delusion.
苗木くん。
It had to be those two, right? It actually did have to be.
今行くよ
Huh? How did you... How did you break out?
江ノ島純子を倒した男が今さら自殺だなんて
Juzo?
許さねえぞ。
Wait, what?
苗木誠
What? What the... What? What? What are we doing anymore, honestly? Like, actually, what are we doing? How the fuck did you do that?
坂倉さん
Yeah, how?
そんなに死にてえなら
No.
くそ
Bro, like...
どうして起きていられ
Damn.
ダングルごとなんてこと
I was gonna say, like, because he used the sword, it's a fire sword, could he have, like,
このクソみたい
cut his hand off, but the heat from the flames, like, sealed it enough, sizzled it enough not to bleed out too much. He's still got punctured.
襲撃者なんていなかったんです自殺です
Yep.
みんなあのモニターの映像を
And
見
that's
て
led to
自
actual
殺させられ
murders,
ていた
though.
んです
Mass suicide, Junko's specialty.
タイムリミットが来ると僕らは全員眠らされるでもモニターの一番
Dude
近く
even
にい
had
た
a
人間だ
mask
けは
on.
先に起こされるんです目を覚ました人間はモニターの映像を見てしまうそれを見ると
They did it. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh yeah, Seiko did it. Again, no one ever found her.
誰がそんなこと仕組みやがって
わからないけどこの方法なら施設の中にいなく
I
ても
guess he's
犯行を
redeemed
実行できる
himself by saving Makoto from himself.
この中にはいねえかもってか
でも少なくともこれで僕たちが殺し合う必要はなくなりました
I'm still baffled that you're alive. You shouldn't be.
じゃあ何か俺たちはここにいねえどっかの誰かに踊ら
What
せ
kind of
て
future foundation is that?
殺し合いをしちま
What
った
kind of hope is this?
雪染めもゴズも木村も その映像ってやつに洗脳されて
Who set that up?
てめえでてめえをやっちまったってことか。ふざけんな。
Something funky's going on here, and we still need to. Oh my god,
Sakura-san.
that much blood just from sitting down.
ゲームを終わらせましょう。この中にあるモニターを全部壊せば。
一体いくつあると思ってんだよ。
Well, we'll help.
でも
勝手にやってろ。俺はお前とはつるまねえ。
But Kyosuke's working with them, so you know. Does that mean nothing?
俺はてめえが憎かっ
Nice.
た。
Past tense.
絶対に許さねえ。この手で殺してやるって思ってた。
He did nothing to you.
お前があの希望が峰学園から生きて出てきやがった時からずっとだ。だから宗像がお前に死ねって言った時、俺は正直嬉しかったぜ。
どうして
He did what you couldn't, man. He beat Junko
お前
Enoshima.
が
Yeah.
江ノ島を倒した。
You are just jealous.
俺は江ノ島に脅されてた。あいつが黒だって分かってたのに宗像に隠してたんだ。その結果がこれだ。襲撃者も止められずお前らを始末し損ねて
It's a fail you can be happy with, honestly.
見捨てられちまった。
Because, you know, Makoto would have been another pointless death.
あなたも絶望に染まっていると信じ込まされていたんです。
そうかよ。
Is that it? Are you just, like, walking out of the show? Gonna go die in a corner? Well, he's still around. Because, of course, why would Kyoko... Like, why would Kyoko die if he got to live, right? Like, actually, what the fuck?
自殺させられてたんだ。
Why not?
でも一体誰が。
The guy that's done nothing this whole show.
俺自身を除けばこの施設内の機械設備に手を加える権限を持っていた人間はたった一人しかいない。その人間はお前たち全員が襲撃者だと俺に教えた張本人でもある。
The leader.
未来機関の創設者として希望が峰学園の元学園。
Did we finally get the mastermind die before the game ended?
テンガンさんが。
モニターの一番近くにいた人間が襲撃者として自らを殺害する。ここにいる誰もが襲撃者になりうるという意味では確かにテンガンは真実を口にしていたわけだ。
So the mastermind finally died before the game ended.
答えは
I got like no theories or anything for V3 now, honestly. You've done pretty much everything.
絶望の残党だったということだ。
嘘だ。テンガンさんがそんなことするはずがない。だって未来機関の代表なんだよ。
Ironic, isn't it?
そう考えるほかはない。
Kinda makes the Warriors of Hope right in a sense that Future Foundation was evil then. Led by evil.
雪染千佐は絶望の残党だったと。
雪染先生も。
あの頃俺たちは独自に希望が峰学園を内定していた。あらゆる状況、あらゆる兆候が江ノ島純子こそが全てを仕組んだ黒幕だと指し示していた。
Yep.
だが雪染も坂倉も江ノ島純子の潔白を
And
主
you
張
went
した。
with it.
俺は
If you didn't, if you worked on your own from the start, who knows what would have happened?
信じてしまった。その甘さを天眼につけ込まれたんだ。
God damn, Chisa, Tengen, Monica. There were so many rats in the goddamn Future Foundation, it's insane.
絶望かよ。冗談きついぜ。
Yeah, he's not making it out. Yeah, much too far gone.
見逃した報いか。
You should have been dead way before now.
俺も大概な。
Oh dear.
お人よしだな。
What are we doing? Let's think this through. What exactly are we doing here? Just cutting the power.
非常用の照明。
ねえ見て、モニターの電源が入らない。
Nice.
でも誰が
He's still alive, yeah.
おそらく配電室だ。あそこならこの施設内の電源を落とすことができる。
坂倉さんが。
こんなことなら最初から配電室を探してればよかった。
宗像さん、坂倉さんのところに行ってください。あの人は絶望なんかじゃありません。
だとしてもあいつを
I
信じる
stabbed
ことが
him.
できず。
I fucking stabbed him. Like, bro, that's gonna be awkward.
坂倉さんは今この瞬間にも宗像さんを信じています。だからこのゲームから脱出させようと。この非常灯がその証です。
Yep. Make your choice, man. We believe in hope. Okay. God, you are so gay, man. Oh my god. One of the gayest characters I've ever seen. Oh. Oh. I guess there's no need for them now. Is that it? I'm assuming that's his end, right? Saving everyone is his end. Yep. Tapped out. Whoa! Whoa, the music got way too loud there. Oh, if only you fell in love with both of them, you'd actually might have had a better chance. Well, that's everyone you loved in your life. Gone. You killed him. Good job. Too late. Oh boy. Yeah. This is the cave-in that Byakuya went through, I assume. Or maybe not. Where is Byakuya right now?
僕が見たのは人を洗脳して自殺させる映像だったんだ。
Wanna explain?
あんな映像は普通の人間に作れるものじゃない。
Yeah. Wanna explain yourself?
人を洗脳し自殺させる映像。
That's kinda sus.
元超高校級
It's
の
like your
アニメーターのあな
trademark.
たなら何か知ってるんじゃないですか。
違う、僕じゃない。
いや、あなただと。
江ノ島純子がやったんだ。僕の技術を利用して。
江ノ島純子
Yep.
どういうこと
She stole your project, tweaked it a little bit.
天眼さん。
Well, that's sus. Who's got his phone right now? Wanna explain? You wanna explain yourself, you weird fruity fucker? Oh, man. Alright. Well, that's the end of Future 11. So, yeah, there was never any potato to look out for. This entire game was rigged. I get it, you know, because it's a very easy solution to fixing things, but at the same time, it's like, it was that easy? All we had to do was turn the fucking power off, and everything would have been fine. Even the armbands would have come off. It was that easy in hindsight. That is actually a big... that's a fucking punch to the face, honestly. Oh my god, that is hilarious. So yeah, that was the Future episode 11. So yeah, okay, so brainwashing again, which honestly I can't believe I didn't think of the possibility, because like, yeah, this whole series has been centered around brainwashing, which, like I said, not a fan of the concept in Danganronpa, because I feel like it makes Junko's victories feel a little less organic and speak to her own abilities as the ultimate analyst, the ultimate despair. You know, it speaks less to her overall talents and more to the fact that she's piggybacking and taking the abilities of someone else and just tweaking them to her needs, which is still good, obviously. It's still powerful, but not really doing things in the way that Junko and Ashima would. I wouldn't have a problem, I think, with the video thing if it was solely focused on, like, you know, getting, like, this into a national incident, you know, because obviously, like, other countries, other continents and whatnot, that I think I would have been fine with. Junko spreading despair through that method, because she can't be everywhere. But when it came to, like, the personal relationships, the Hope's Peak stuff, I really feel like it should have been just Junko and her stuff, and her own manipulational tactics to actually get, you know, people on the despair side. But, you know, it's just a consequence. Like I said, I feel like mostly it's a case of there's not enough time in the anime to really go over how she got everyone, so we all have to group them into one singular moment, which, to be fair, Chiaki's death isn't a bad one by any means, but it's still a little disappointing for how it was executed. I think the execution was not the best, but, you know, it is what it is. This episode, though, like, the greatness of this episode really came from just seeing, you know, our Trigger Happy Havoc cast again for the final time. Never thought for a moment that would actually happen, but everyone barring, like, Hina, the survivors, and Junko and Mukuro, everyone was there. We got to see fucking Sayaka again and speak. That was insane, and no doubt that was actually Sayaka's Japanese VA from the game. You know, so you get, like, the most important girl that used to be, like, that used to be in Sayaka's, in Makoto's life, which was, like, his like, middle school crush on Sayaka, which he did have, and then, obviously, well, obviously more than that, because I keep forgetting, he does have his memories of Hope's Peak now, and obviously the girl that he actually is in love with now, which is Kyoko in his new life, and having them both be, like, the catalyst to really tear him down, I think was really cool. Seeing all of the deaths in all of their fashions, Celeste burning, Mondo being butter, Chihiro hanging, and just seeing the feet. Pretty good. Like honestly, that's a believable, like, mental breakdown that could lead to suicide for a character, I honestly think, you know? Believing that you really did fail everyone and their expectations, which led to their death, it is convincing to see them, or to see Makoto go to that point. But yeah, great scene, great part of the episode there for sure. Juzo still being alive, I think, is just a bit of an arsehole, like, genuinely. I know there's some crazy shit you can do in Danganronpa, but him being alive, like, since this point onward, like, that's crazy. That is actually crazy. They, like, keep skipping over what this guy actually does. Like, we missed, like, all the stuff he did with Junko in the last episode. He's just beaten down at the start. This guy is, despite being the ultimate boxer, a bit of the punching bag for this anime, honestly, and a bit of a punching bag for the Danganronpa franchise in general, which is funny. But yeah, that was really cool. Like I said, we have one episode to go in future, and I'm just... Obviously, it's just going to be like to reconvene, right? I assume we're going to get mostly, I think the next 2 episodes will consist of epilogue stuff, obviously, because like, we've got Byakuya and Hiro, you know, they've got to reunite with everyone that don't know that Kyoko died. Obviously, Kamaru and Toko are still waiting for Makoto to come and pick them up. So there is some good epilogue stuff to actually get through. But I just don't know where we're gonna go with this, because this, if one thing this anime has done, it's not exactly you know, shown that the Future Foundation members are exactly the right people to really be holding out hope for the future, you know, to really be leading an organization to fix things, especially Kyosuke. Like, I get why Kyosuke has, like, tapped out. I get why he went crazy, and, you know, the 2, like, closest people in his life, you know, the friends he made, the trio, the squad he had in Hope's Peak, ended up getting reformed, you know. Years, probably, of Chisa whispering false lies, honeyed lies in his ear, and manipulations, like, that's got a sting, you know. It definitely, I think it definitely makes, in hindsight, his scene of, like, saying goodbye to Chisa make a lot of sense. But it makes it so much more tragic to see what she was in Danganronpa Despair. And just, you don't know exactly how much he realized that you don't think he realized how much he meant to Chisa, right? Just how much she really loved him, appreciated him, wanted to be there for him. You just don't know if he realized that, but he realized her absolute worst qualities, which was just the evil manipulations of an evil devil blonde woman. So definitely a despairful character there for Kyosuke. But like I said, I'm very, very curious what the next 2 episodes for Future are going to do. And we will see them soon enough, because we're about to do the finale of Despair in this video. Episode 11 of Despair is coming right up, so this is probably going to be a proper epilogue to Despair, and then we'll see what comes after that. But yeah, guys, I'm going to do my cut, and I'll see you in a moment when we get to that. Alright, guys. We're still going. Post Chiaki death, finale of the Despair arc in this anime. Let's see how we conclude it.
学園の海外展開が中止。
ああ、評議委員会
Oh
の
boy.
決定だ。
That's not
しか
good.
し、何の説明もなしに。
これ以上君に言えることはない。
Let's face it, man, the school's in a bit of hot water right now. Controversy is spreading. So this could mostly be from Kyosuke's perspective now, since we don't have any characters left that aren't
調
brainwashed.
査はどうだった？
You didn't believe in him enough. Not in the way Kyoko would. You lied.
江ノ島純子は白だ。
間違いないのか？
ああ、間違いねえ。状況証拠以上のものはなし。物証は皆無。アリバイもある。
しかし、彼女が実行犯である可能性が。
There's no logical conclusion otherwise.
俺の調査を疑うのか？
That's just mean.
そうだな。
That's just
お
mean.
前が言うのなら間違いないだろう。
Manipulating the trust you know he has in
江ノ島
you.
純子は白だ。
So what now? Yeah. Pussy! You pussy. If you loved him, you really would have told him, regardless of what happened to you. Now he's completely off the trail.
白となると
maybe Mukuro.
雪染め
Nice. Oh, look how tender he is with her.
遅くなってすまなかったな
Okay. Maybe I feel a little bad for him.
雪染め
Just a little bit.
一つ聞いていいか江ノ島純子のことだ坂倉が言うには彼女は白らしいがお前はどう思う
ちょっと待ってね。
I mean, she never should have met Junko by this point.
うん、私もそう思う。
If she wasn't despaired, she never would have met her.
どうしたの？
いややはり俺の思い違いらしい
Yeah, like literally, she only
これは
met her like today.
希望の物語。
Like there's nothing else to go over in that regard.
そういう意味では、すでにこの物語は終焉を迎えている。
Oh, Lord, she's gone back to being the narrator.
希望でも絶望でもない世界が
Oh, oh,
ただただ
oh.
絶望に
That's
染まる
great.
だけ。
That's great. Yeah, all right. Both intros and OPs and EDs are gone now.
さあ、今日で希望が峰学園もおしまいね。
We're gonna get like
楽しそうですね。
of
あなたの計画は今日で結
we
実
get
する。
parts of Zero in this.
そうよ。そしてここから始まるのよ。何もかもめちゃくちゃに吹き飛ばす
Yep.
絶望的な絶望がね。
What? What? Goodbye, Hope's Peak High School. That's definitely a finale, despair-filled title.
いろんなことがあったわね。私はあなたたちの先生
Oh, this is freaky. They're all brainwashed. They're acting like this.
なんだよ先生泣いてん
They're
の
all
か
acting normal.
デリカシーないよ。もう最後なのに先生ったらダメね。今日はみんなに手紙を書いてきたの。
ああ手紙だ
だってこれでみんなとはさよならでしょ。最後くらいは先生らしいことがしたくって。
It really sucks because one of my big things about Chisa was I was really interested to see how she felt about the class getting despaired when she was not, and it turns out that wasn't the case at all. Also, the flower on Chiaki's seat.
それをきっかけに
Right.
世界はあっという間に絶望に染まる。あいつらはもう私であって私じゃない
They have become the me that is not
あい
me.
つらが世界中に絶望を伝染させていくのよ。
伝染？
はあ？なんでお姉ちゃんが分かってない
That
わ
is
け
so dangerous sitting like that.
だって聞いてないから。
Ooh, ooh,
不
oh.
穏な空気。
Oh my god, she enjoys that a little too
ヤミ
much.
ちゃんが楽しいクラスの空気を作ったみたいにさ。希望の象徴であるこの学園は世界の希望的な空気そのもの。
Yep.
それが変われば
It's all going down. It's plummeting.
ミームの電波ですか。
そう服の流行りみんなが読んでる漫画教室での
Yeah, bullying's a good cause of
文
despair.
化、思想、流行、伝染する情報、ミーム。
Memes, of course, memes.
鎌倉いずるのクラスメートとなったみんなが世界に
That's a chainsaw.
絶望的な空気を広めていくのよ。
Holy shit. They came in massacring.
絶望に染まっていくの。
じゃあ読むね。あなたたちの担任としてまた希望が峰学園を卒業した先輩として心からエールを送ります。
As literally the school burns, it all comes tumbling down.
辛いことも悲しいこともあると思います。
We get this speech.
この学校で学んだことを忘れずに
What the hell?
みんなに会えなくなると思うと寂しいけど
Literally
これか
never.
らのみんなの活躍応援しています。 みんなの担任の先生、雪染千佐。
Nice. She never was really too acquainted with Nagito though, so it doesn't hit as hard for him. But that was a good speech. Oh wow. Oh wow.
私このクラスで
Yep. You love it so much, it's despair-inducing! Super weird, my god, how are those tits actually secured?
私も踊りでみんなを幸せにしてみせるよ。美しい写真なら任せて。
Yep.
戦争のない平和な国にします。
貴様らこそ
I think you gave your parents up to
世界
Junko.
中の病院に素敵なお薬を届けます。
Like, these, don't get me wrong, these shots are actually peak, but oh my god.
もう誰も殺さない。
It's so weird.
みんなにお腹いっぱい栄養あるものを食べてもらうんだ。これからの
Oh god damn, let's go. I can become anything.
大統領だって夢じゃない。
私がみんなの夢をサポートするぞ。
どんなに大きな絶望が立ちはだかろうと必ず最後には希望が勝つ。
We'll see that,
だから
Nagito.
僕は
Because you've got quite a future ahead of you with the Warriors of Hope. It's so crazy seeing them speak about their genuine dreams while they're
みんなが
fucking
ここで殺され
hypnotized.
たことになって学園の保護リストから外れるの。もう何回も言わないでも
Wait,
よ。
what?
分かってる？みんなはここで殺されたことになって学園の保護リストから外れるの。
Damn.
もう何回も言わないでも分かるって。
超高校級の絶望が学園に保護されたのでは。
Why are they so casual about it?
ごめんね。私ったらいつまでも先生気分が抜けなくて。
This is genuinely disturbing. Like, actually,
じゃあね。みんな
it's so creepy how they're speaking with their eyes. Wow. And they survived
約
that.
束は守ってくれましたね。
あいつらからはあんたの記憶を消しといたけど、
Hmm.
なんでそんなだるいことさせたわけ？
近い未来僕は彼らと再会します。そ
Interesting.
の時に互いのことを知っていてはつまらないじゃないですか。
So that was actually just a request by him from
彼ら
for
の記
Junko.
憶を消去するつもりです。
So that's how they're gonna loosely explain the
確かめ
Nagito
たいんで
meeting.
す。希望と絶望どちらが僕にとって予想がつかないのか。
Hmm. That's the
も
fun.
し彼女の思いがあなたの思惑に打ち勝ち彼らを救うことができたら絶望より希望
It,
の方
and
が
it
予想
kind
が
of
つ
did
か
in
ないと
the
言え
end,
る
didn't
の
it?
か
In
も
the
しれない
Neo World program.
はあ、どんだけ尺割いて説明したら分かってくれんの。
Honestly,
予定調和で
last episode we'll ever
絶
see
望
Junko and
だから
Ashima.
絶望だけがちょっと
Don't
なん
underestimate
か
it.
言い残すこととかないの？
本当は一目見た時から好きでした。
Nice. Something corny.
また会いましょう。
また会おうね。
Well, kinda, but also kinda not. Oh god.
利用してあげるからさ。
To use you anytime. Hello, Monokuma. It's been too long, honestly. We didn't get enough Monokuma in this. And that's the school gone.
いや、まさかここまであっという間だとはね。78期生以外は全滅だよ。
学園の外は
Wait,
ここま
what?
であっという間だとはね。78期生以外
Oh,
は
all but the
全滅だよ
78th class. Okay. Oh, they said the 78th class was wiped out.
相変わらずか。
ひどいありさまですよ。
これまでの死傷者は約3000人と推定されており、この中にはテロの実行犯たちも含まれています。
歴史的なシナリオだ。まるで
誰かが裏で糸を引いてるような。
Of course.
誰かって
Obviously.
まさか一連の事件に黒幕がいるだなんて言わないよね。
Yep.
さあな。
The ultimate despair, man. They're gonna show. Are they gonna show Jin dying?
すみません。
That'd be something. Because that was the first thing we ever saw in Danganronpa.
超高校級の探偵キリギリ京子か。
私がもっと早く彼女の力を借りていれば。
ジンさんも人の親なんだからしょうがないよ。
とにかく学園にいても事態は好転せん。脱出を試みねばな。
ええ、お二人はそうしてください。
ん？
私はここに残ります。生き延びた生徒に希望を託すんです。
Yeah. You guys go out there, deal with the problem. I'll chill in the school. Sounds like a fair deal. Interesting, they already did that.
彼らのような次世代の希望さえ生き残れば、世界は何度でもやり直せる。それが希望が峰学園が本来持つべき。
All those ultimates dead and just one class. It's actually crazy how minuscule that actually is in the grand scheme of things of this universe.
わしは止めんよ。学園のことは学園長に任せる。
恩に来ます。
学園長が希望を守ってくれている間に、わしは外から動いてみる。
And attack despair.
木桜君はどうする？
俺も天眼さんとご一緒しますよ。親子水入らずの邪魔をするわけにはいきませんし。
I wish you did though. You'd be interesting to have in the school, even if you would be killed right off the bat.
万が一シェルター化が失敗したら。
弱気なこと言うなよ。まあ万が一の時は京子ちゃんは命にかけても守ってやるよ。
And he did. He did. He truly kept to his word on that. And we know how much Kyoko did not want Jin to love her at all.
今までどうもありがとね。
Thanks for everything. Oh, this is a weird, distorted Monokuma-like vending machine thing. And that's GG. This is where 2,000 plus students just say bye-bye. Crazy, man. Actually ridiculous. Ooh. Yep. They're all committing mass suicide.
こんな絶望的な光景理解しろって方が無理ですよ。
Yep. Yep, 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 yep.
いくらゴミって言ってもこれだけ一気に死んでくれると絶望的ね。なんで仲間にしてあげなかったの？はあ？そんなんあいつらがドカスだからに決まってんじゃんバカだ。いくら思考回路が私と一緒になったっつってもそもそものスペックが高い。
Nice. Oh, love the gaming analogy. You doing that on purpose now with Chiaki
お
gone?
姉ちゃんも気をつけてよ。いくら肉親といえどいざとなったらサクッといっちゃうから。
Oh, she did more than stab you. Oh, she stuck a few more things in ya.
そろそろ行こっか。クラスメートが待ってるしね。
Yep. Yo! Yo! We're actually seeing them! Seeing them, just, yep. Yep, yep, we were told they did this themselves.
何もかも純子ちゃん
And Celeste is doing fuck all because of course.
まあね。今のところ予想できないって言えばあつくらいかな。
Really? What was that exact
まあ
wording?
ね。今のところ予想できないって言えば
Ah,
つくらいかな。
yeah. Are you sure about that, girl? Also, him and Sayaka hanging out is pretty wild.
大丈夫？ たの？
Can you truly predict that which is unpredictable? A talent that is not based on logic, but pure chance?
こんな時に怪我なんて
Probability manipulation?
本当に大丈夫？
Huh. Well, there's a lot of implications at the fact he's hanging out with Sayaka here over Kyoko.
大丈夫だよ。それにきっともう少しの辛抱だから。
I don't doubt that he was like best friends, but like, was he getting both of them? That's a question. He's definitely not a harem pro tag, but two of them, maybe.
小前田先輩のとは違って
No.
波があるせいで私でも分析しきれないんだよね。
I like how we're differentiating them.
殺すの？
So I do want to like, I know this is a very weird thing to say, but I do kind of want to, how I think I do kind of interpret the luck factor into this is that, Makoto has luck that is more based around what you would typically think of luck to be for a character that has it. You know, just generally things go pretty well for him, and you know, all things are good. I think Nagito overall has better luck than Makoto does. His luck is stronger, but it does have a downside. It comes at the cost of bad luck for those around him. For example, you know, the plane crashing. That happened, you know, that everyone died, he didn't. That's an effect of bad luck happening for them, very bad luck. He got kidnapped and then immediately found a lottery ticket. That's insanely good luck at that in that circumstance, you know. Just off the little stuff we know about Nagito, I think that's generally how it is. He does get his fair share of bad luck, and any luck he does get kind of has the consequence of people around him getting really, really shitty luck. So that's kind of how I interpret Nagito's luck. But overall, when it does happen, it's generally better than Makoto's, I'd say.
やめとくわ。あんな奴のせいで私の計画が狂うなら、それはそれで絶望的だし。
Yep. But that's also exciting and despair-inducing if he does throw it out of whack. They all survived that. In some way. And Shisa actually stayed. I don't know what the hell happened there. But that really was the last time they ever saw each other, which is really unfortunate. There's no bodies. Damn, and a little journal. That's something she didn't actually plan on doing. No! 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 The photo!
いいのか?
大したものじゃないから。
Oh, you know damn well it means everything, and that's why it's despair-inducing for you. Because that meant everything. Don't you dare say how boring.
きっとあの長髪の彼ならそう言うだろう。
ああ。
すべては江ノ島純子が願った通りの未来をたどった。
One of the worst graveyards ever. A school.
私の生徒たちは世界に絶望を伝染させて
Using every connection she had. Nova Selleck wrapped around Sonia's finger. That's terrifying having a monarch in that position.
世界が絶望に染まりきるのにそう時間はかからなかった。
Yep. Like Gundam probably just went to like the jungle or a fucking like the pet stores and whatnot and just started grabbing everything.
ひどい。
絶望め。俺が江ノ島のことを告げてりゃこんなことには。
This is your fault, man.
京介、絶望を止めよう。絶望のない世界を作ろう。
God, it's even worse how like she's doing this right in front of Juzo.
一番深く絶望できるように。
I'm still not fully sure how I even feel about Chisa being a despair, honestly.
そう、これは最後に絶望で終わる希望の物語。
Well,
じ
kinda.
ゃあバッドエンドかって？どうかしらね。
Subjective.
彼女や彼女を崇拝する誰かにとっては望んだ通りの結末だろうし。
Yep.
そもそもこの物語に
Oh, hello,
ハッピーエンド
Monokuma.
なんて用意されていたのかしら。
Again, objective. Oh, sorry, subjective.
だって世界中から絶望がなくなったとしたら、それはそれで絶望的じゃん。
Yep. Oh,
ぷぷぷ。
beautiful scene. Actually beautiful shot. We actually are using the outro time. Interesting. I didn't think we'd get that. Dude, the shots of like when they're kind of replicating like the game art style of like Chiaki like getting her death, and you see like their shot of that on top of like Junko with that shot, like that's so peak actually. Again, I've never been more conflicted in a scene of a show in my life, where two characters I love and you just had one outright killing the other. But that's it for Despair. That's our journey in Despair. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, a lot of it was like outside of the classroom. So Class 77 barely was even in this, which is kind of ironic. After like, episode 5, was it even 5? Something around there, like, we barely even had them on screen for about 90% of it. Whoa! But it's okay. And you know why it's okay? Because they're coming back next year. They're coming back in full force next year. So hyped for that. Ba-dum. Wow, an after credit scene. Yep, the Neo World program. Oh my god, they're really animating the start of the game. Really? On Jabberwock. Oh my god, and they're using the theme now. How dare you, Nintendo?
七海千秋です。
Oh my
超
god.
高校級のゲーマーです。趣味はゲーム
This
で
is
す。
so unnecessary.
オール
It's
ジャンルでいけ
evil.
ま
Like
す。
genuinely.
よろしくお願いします。
Why
俺は
are you doing this?
俺は日向はじめだ。よろしくな。
うん、よろしく。
確かめたいんです。希望と絶望、どちらが僕にとって予想がつかないのか。
Yep. What a bastard. Continue to the hope side. Actually evil to show that, like, man. Alright guys, that was the episode's finale. That was the finale, episode 11 of the Despair arc in Danganronpa 3. I like this. I do like how we ended up getting to see the whole tragedy in fruition. We started the domino effect in this episode of the fall of Hope Speak Academy, which eventually, you know, led into the world feeling despair and all that good stuff. And it was really cool. It was really fun and a good experience to actually see, you know, how exactly the crash happened, seeing the preparation work, seeing the origin of the you know, the Trigger Happy Havoc game with everyone just, you know, bolting up the school pretty much. Really cool to see those characters again. In both these episodes, really, actually getting to see in this animation, in this style, the class of 78, you know, all of our beloved friends and, you know, our cast members that will no longer be with us. It was a really cool treat to get to see them one final time. And I liked it. You know, I thought that was really fun. Definitely disturbing for a finale, obviously, because you've got, like, everyone acting fucked, like everyone acting as normal as possible, but being despairs and pretty much meaning the opposite of what they're actually doing, which is pretty funny. It's cool. It's really cool. I do wish we got to see them more in their despair sides, considering the stuff we know that some of them pursued in Danganronpa 2. Like what they did with Junko's body specifically, showing how far they went in that in that game. Like holy shit. But we'll get more of them coming up. Again, it's a bit of a strange circumstance where obviously this is our finale to the origin of these characters, but we either know going into episode 12 of Future that we're gonna still have them, as there is a big upcoming encounter with Future Foundation and the Remnants of Despair. Presumably they're all awake. Obviously we haven't confirmed anyone beyond Hajime right now who's actually awake, but we will see that, I'm sure, going forward. And yeah, like I said, just a really fun time. Junko, obviously, I have enjoyed Junko in this experience. In general, like I said, I think that the big advantage Despair has over Future in this game is that, or in this anime, is that it formatically can work in a anime format. Now, not to say I think everything worked. Again, I feel like the episode count really was a hindrance to some things in this. There's the fact that this is supposedly meant to, revolve around Junko despairing the class, but after like 3 episodes, the class doesn't really do much. You don't really see Class 77 much at all in this anime, honestly, which is really surprising, because a lot of it is just the conspiracy stuff going on in the background for Junko to actually start up the tragedy. So there are some things, pacing wise, I think could use work in that regard. Like I said, I think the whole brainwashing thing is kind of interesting, but also doesn't really feel very organic to Junko's character. It just feels like a backdoor pass to really get her result, kind of sped run, when I was really expecting and kind of curious to see, at least in some regard, Junko interact with these characters beyond just their despairing fronts. But no, the time that she kills Nanami is literally the first time they've ever seen Junko, which is very unfortunate. As well as Chisa, I'm kind of torn again. I'm not sure if I actually like the fact that Chisa was a despair, because you go off the assumption that she's not a despair, and it is a cool gotcha moment that she was in the end and was hindering Future Foundation's efforts. But at the same time, I would have liked to see, like how Chisa is when she wasn't a despair, how she genuinely would have taken on with the tragedy and whatnot if she was just, with Kyosuke's side and, Juzo's side, and how she would have dealt with the fact that the class that she loved so much ended up falling so far down the wrong path. But, she definitely went out in the most brutal way. They did make it clear that, like, Chisa probably wouldn't have been torn from that video alone, so they had to take extra precautions with her. And obviously, what Mukuro did to her in that scene is one of the most terrifying things we've seen in Danganronpa. So I think it is justifiable in that regard. But like I said, just in general, it was a cool time. Seeing them obviously be a class, obviously I've said this since DL1, just seeing the class be a class, how they actually became friends, how the character development, pushed forward beyond, what we actually saw in the games, and, even the Future Foundation stuff, as we still at this point don't really have any, like, origin memories or anything about what Class 78 really went through to be a friend group, like how Makoto's relationship went with Kyoko, with Sayaka, with the other characters, like Leon, Kawada, all that good stuff, how they actually became friends the original time, which I think would have been really cool to see, since this is an anime that's presenting them with the memories of what they had prior to the memory wipe, which I think would have been really cool to see. But yeah, like I said, fundamentally, Despair does not have the issues that Future has, because Future really does obviously try to format itself in a way of a Danganronpa typical story. The problem is they work, the most organic way that those stories work is with an anime, or is with a game, obviously, because here, outside of obviously a couple of characters, Chisa, Juzo got a lot of time in this one, you don't have too many people or characters to really introduce here to get the dynamics going. It can build off of what we already have from the games prior. Whereas in Future, most of the Future Foundation members, barring obviously Makoto, Kyoko, and Hina, are characters that we have to get introduced to in this in this format, and it just, it just doesn't work with the amount of time that it has. I feel like, I don't care too much about many of the future characters in general, the future foundation. Like, obviously in a game you get you get like a good hour or two to where you just introduce the characters, have everyone meet each other, and you get that proper introduction to their characters, their quirks, what makes them unique to each other. Whereas in the anime, you'd need at least an episode, I feel like, alone just to the introductions, and we go into the game so fast in the Future Foundation that there's just very little time to actually organically get attached to these characters, and it does suffer a lot from that. So in general, like I said, while I do love Danganronpa and I do really enjoy the Despair arc, the Future arc I think is pretty mid. I think it's pretty out there. It's pretty, generic in some regards, and in general I just feel like it's just the format, literally. If you even just gave this like a light novel or something to really give itself the proper time to actually establish its footing, this would have been fine. This honestly, I could see myself actually liking the future arc quite a bit if we just got more time to elaborate on it, but we don't, and it definitely does hurt its roots. And I know I'm giving like this big epilogue to my thoughts here when we're not even done with the future arc yet. We still have a single episode left, but I just feel like, it did hurt in some way. And to be fair, Despair as well also did suffer a bit from the runtime. Obviously, you don't see much of the characters. Like I said, you don't actually see the 77th class too much in the anime. You don't really see the dynamics they had too much. Ironically, you don't even see the Twilight murder like group like in this anime, in the Twilight adaptation, which is kind of funny. You don't see if Ibuki, Hiyoko, Mahiru, and Mikan actually as a group at any point in this anime, which is pretty funny to think about. But yeah, like I said, it's just, it is what it is, At the end of the day, while I was really hyped to see this going in, it is obviously a 12-episode story for each scenario, so it does formatically suffer from that in those regards anyway. So, well, I definitely think some things in this were definitely rushed. I can't say it wasn't unexpected, and I wouldn't say too much in this anime was unexpected either. There wasn't too much, I think, I would say really surprised me too much in this. I feel like how they became Despairs was pretty predictable, which was just, you kind of knew I feel like the minute you see that Chiaki is a real person in this anime, like, that's it, that's the moment, that's what's gonna get them, and it doesn't really branch itself beyond what I think the base theories are in these instances. And you could say that, I think, for a little bit of Danganronpa 2 as well. That game had a lot of predictability to it, which I think is one of the big problems of the prologue arc in Danganronpa 2. The fact that they made it far too obvious it was a virtual simulation. That door, the minute you walk into that door of ones and zeros and you enter the class, right then you can tell some shit's going on. It's probably a virtual world, and it is a virtual world in the end, But, that's just the thing with the game, not even the anime, but, it's just kind of the experience with this class, to be honest. But not to say I didn't enjoy it. Obviously, I love seeing Junko and Ashima. Obviously, I'm left coming out of this Despair arc with a lot I wanted to end up seeing, I wanted to see Junko manipulate the class. I at least wanted to see them meet, Junko and Ashima, before actually becoming Despairs, but outside of Nagito and Chiaki, it didn't happen. So, not that I can say I came out of this too satisfied with certain elements, but I can still say I enjoyed and was almost always looking more forward to this arc in the anime more than I was the future arc. But, we still have one more to go. I'm curious now if, because we cut one episode short of the Despair arc to make room for like the final episode, the Hope episode of the anime, I'm curious if we format it to where next episode is going to end the story of Class 78. It's going to end Makoto's journey, Byakuya's journey, and obviously, the Ultra Despair Girls cast, and then you get into Hope, which is going to be Hajime and Class 77's story. It's kind of weird because we have two Ultimate Hopes. We have obviously Makoto, who naturally developed into the Ultimate Hope, and then we have the artificial, like pure, in the most pure sense, in the most literal sense of Ultimate Hope being every talent, being Hajime. So we do have two Ultimate Hopes in the story, so I feel like it it does kind of work in that regard. You finish off Ultimate Hope Makoto in the next episode, and then Hope, which is literally, you know, Hope Speak Academy's byproduct being Hajime Hinata, Izuru Kamakura, you end his stuff off in the official, like, final episode of the anime. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, overall, despite what we actually probably do in the next episode of Future, it definitely could be peak. It definitely could be. I'm probably gonna come out of this saying that Despair was the better side of the anime for me, but we will see. But guys, obviously that would be the end of this set normally, but we're gonna combine these two together because I do want to end the anime off now. And so yeah, guys, I'm gonna do my cut here, and when I come back, we'll do episode 12 of Future Arc, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright guys, episode 12, end of Future Arc now. Well, let's see where we go with this. Okay, another flashback. The supposed mastermind traitor.
失礼します。
雪染くんか。
Oh, Yuki.
どうした？
So tragic what happened to you.
それは？
人類史上最大最悪の絶望的事件の原因となったビデオです。
Still want a USB stick.
洗脳か。
技術自体は私の生徒御手洗亮太が開発したものです。
Well,
彼を見つける
not
ことがで
technically
きれば
one of your students.
絶望と戦う有効な手段になるかもしれません。
君はそのビデオを見たのかね？
いいえ。
Yeah, that's a very obvious lie there.
そうか。わかった。わしが預かろう。
それともう一つ。これは予備学科生集団自殺に使われた人を自殺させるビデオです。
Jesus. Both of these powers. The two biggest despair-inducing powers in history. Smile. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's the smile. Honestly, you know, I'm just saying she's hot even with the swirly eyes, but, you know, can't take that any further. It is always darkest. Yeah, that's weird.
動画ファイル
The video?
よう、見たらいく。君がこのメールを見ている時点で全ては手遅れだ。君のような若い者には分からんかもしれんが、
Okay.
わしのような老い先短い老人にとって希望というのは後を託せる若者がいるということだ。
Sure.
わしが生涯を捧げた希望が峰学園、その生徒こそがわしの
And to see it tumbling down
彼らは立派に成長し、
brought you despair?
今や未来機関を支えている幹部となった。
Yeah, that's fair.
そんな
And then they all died.
人類を導く希望の担い手が裏切り合い、騙し合い、殺し合うようなことが起これば、
And he sensed Chisa was lying.
これほど絶望的なことはない。血と涙を流し、絶望に歪む皆の顔を思い浮かべると、わしは
It brought you despair. It made you ultimate despair.
ついやってしまったよ。
You again. At last, I did it.
本当に天眼さんは絶望の残党だったのか。
でもバングルは取れたしゲームは終わったんだよね。もう殺し合いをしなくていいんでしょ。
とにかく出口を探そう。あの時
No, I think he's becoming despair as well.
絶望し
Yep.
戦わずに
Just ran like a bitch.
そのせいで御手洗さん、今度こそ僕は逃げない。
Well, let's see what you got, man.
こんなことは もう繰り返させない。全部話すよ。僕は昔からアニメが好きで、
Yep.
人の心に希望を与える、そんなアニメを作りたかったんだ。
Also fair. Wow, like something in my eye.
希望が峰学園で江ノ島純子と
You got really unlucky that day.
あいつは僕の
Like
才
the
能を利用
most,
し
the
て
most unlucky you've ever been.
人の心を狂わせる絶望のビデオを作った。
Yep.
絶望のビデオ。
それを見ると江ノ島純子と同じ精神回路になって絶望を望むようになる。苗木がかくまった彼らも
Unless of
それを見
course,
せられたんだ。
unless of course you're Izuru, who
元はといえば
was so
僕ら
fucked he literally watched it he literally watched it live himself
怖くて
and was the same.
今までずっと言えなかった。あのモニターから流れる映像も僕の技術で江ノ島が作った自殺ビデオだと思う。おそらく天眼さんは絶望の残党から自殺ビデオを受け取って未来機関を滅ぼすためにモニターに仕込んだんだろうね。
でも未来機関のトップがどうして絶望に。
Seeing everything he built crumble, all the people he grew to love, seeing them destroy, kill, murder, do anything.
僕は決めたよ。純子の犠牲者だったんだ。きっと絶望のビデオを見てた
Okay,
んだ
he
よ。
did see the despair video.
僕は決めたよ。こんなことはもう終わらせる。
Do you have your video to show hope?
世界中にこの希望のビデオを流すよ。
The video you actually made back then?
僕のアニメがきっかけで大勢の人が絶望に染まって
So, same formula.
怖くて辛くて、でもアニメだけは捨てられなかった。
What a fucking weeb. Oh my god.
僕の希望のビデオなら世界中を希望で満たすことができる。
And what about the people that don't like anime? What the people that refuse to watch that? Well, to be fair, Junko didn't like it either until you convinced her otherwise.
変えてしまうってこと。分かってる。僕もずっと悩んでた。でも僕らは弱い生き物だ。
What was that? I know it was the student council, but like,
絶望に出会って引きずって。
I think that's only like 3 years per cycle in Hope Speak. So was that like class 76?
勝てないんだ。
勝てるよ。みんなで力を合わせれば絶望だって乗り越えられるはずだ。
勝てないよ。勝てないからこんな世界になってるんじゃないか。みんなが君みたいに強いわけじゃないんだ。
Sure.
それでも
僕らは君みたいには
To
な
be
れない。
fair, he was pretty weak himself at the start.
ちょっと待って。もう少し考えようよね。
ごめん、朝比奈さん。
Whoa! Whoa! Hypnotism. Damn.
苗木誠を止めておいて。
It's just another form of brainwashing.
どうしたの朝比奈さん。
You didn't even show her anything there. That was just like some super weird, like fucking.
NG コード
It
は
was like some weird base Photoshop video. Use your talent. Because it was a direct win cheat code, basically.
僕はもう後悔したくないんだ。
It makes sense why he didn't do anything prior, I guess. Because some of these forbidden actions were just outrageous. Don't open a fucking door. Don't run in the hallway. Don't animate. Don't let Makoto Naegi live, like, bro. You guys are so late, it's actually a joke.
クリアクリア止まれ。貴様そこで何をしている。第10支部の御手洗さんですね。ご無事でしたか。
Yes.
助かりました。
一体何があったんですか。
mostly
これを見てください。
dead. Like, bro, he's even got fucking, like, he's even got a face mask on.
全部隊に配信お願いします。
You're telling me that got him even with
も
that?
し僕を妨害する者がいたら手段は問いません。
2 seconds.
排除してください。
That's it.
世界の希
That's
望
all
の
they
ため
got.
に。絶望は人の心の中にあるものだ。消すことはできない。
It's part of nature.
だから僕は心そのものを組み替える。妬み、そねみ、
Envy, jealousy, hatred, sadness, and rage.
ありとあらゆるマイナスの感情を全て排除する。
This is so cheesy, man. Just watching them brainwash themselves.
人は悲劇を繰り返す。そんなことは終わりにするんだ。
一体どうしたの？朝比奈さん話して。朝比奈さん。よかった、皆さん。
Oh dear.
朝比奈さん、逃げて。
No. Kyosuke? Yeah, of course, Kyosuke.
どういうことだ。
Bro beat 2 armed guys with a sword.
全
Based.
世界を洗脳する希望のビデオか。
宗像さん、お願いします。御手洗さんを止めるのを手伝ってください。
皮肉だな。絶望の残党である天眼が世界を希望に洗脳するきっかけを作るとは。
So it's like 2 antagonists here.
もしかしたら天眼さんは絶望の残党じゃないんじゃ。
Yeah, but he was brainwashed too.
天眼さんの目的は御手洗さんに希望のビデオを使わせることだったんじゃないでしょうか。
奴の目的は殺し合いを世界に中継して絶望を世界に広めることだった
But
は
maybe
ずだ。
not.
いえ、僕たちの殺し合いは中継されていなかったんです。
Yep. Yeah, Byakuya was like, what the hell you on about? Nothing's happening.
そうだ。天眼さんは御手洗さんを追い込むためだけに未来機関に殺し合いをさせたんだ。
Really?
だからあの時
That's it.
天眼さんは驚いて。
That's it.
すいません。
He couldn't have just shown the video himself.
遅れま
Or
した。
like ordered him to show the video. Or just take his phone and show the video himself. I don't get how he did this though.
今回会議殺し合いに招集されていなかった。御手洗さんには未来機関の幹部が殺し合いをしたって絶望的な事実だけが伝わればよかったんだから。
なら見たらいからビデオを奪えば済む話だ。
Yeah, really.
希望のビデオだけじゃない。きっと会長は御手洗さん自身に希望を託したんです。
Bullshit, man. Cheesy explanations.
御手洗さんへのメッセージだったんだ。
I entrust the hope of the world to you.
すべては初めから希望のために仕組まれていたんです。
その結果始まるのが全人類の洗脳。
Yep.
人の心から完全に絶望をなくすだと。
Well, maybe.
悲しみや苦しみの
If
一切
despair
を奪われて
wasn't,
洗
if
脳
despair
された
didn't
人間
completely
は
take over, Hope's not gonna either. But you know.
人間と呼べるのか。
宗像さん、この施設に大規模な放送設備はありませんか？
別当に全世界に放送できる設備がある。来るぞ。
Oh dear. Well, this is such a weird, like, this is such a weird reasoning for this killing game to take place. So he intentionally was gonna murder all of Future Foundation just to force Mitarai to brainwash the world. Like, what the fuck? What is this contrivance of a plot?
でもここを抜けないと。
Also, I'm sorry, did I miss something? How did Hina go back to normal? I feel like I missed something. When did she get unbrainwashed?
あと少しだ。
Well, to be fair, outrunning guns is nothing new for Danganronpa. Oh, of all rooms. Of all rooms. He has another sword there. This is all happening in one day, by the way. He renounced her, and now he's unrenouncing her. No, I didn't say that right. Does that one turn into flames too? That's sick. You don't need to get rid of the bandage, man. Wow. Is a video of hope really meant to just mean gun on sight? Doesn't seem very hopeful. You know, given that he had like proper medical conditions in despair, I'm surprised he even lived this long. Like, being strong enough to climb up a rope as well is not something you just do.
Ne. 喋らない方がいいよ。
言って。御手洗さんを止めるんでしょ。大丈夫。私ここで待ってるから。
I'm tapped out.
私なら大丈夫だよ。
Better be.
わかった。
Ooh, we can just tell how
御手
much
洗
that
さんを止め
hurts.
て必ず助けを連れて戻るよ。
Yeah. Yeah, that turned in like a bitch.
最後の最後まで絶対に諦めるもんか。
Okay. So most likely, yeah, I assume we'll get Despair, our Despair group in the next episode. That was a long password.
僕はもう諦めない。絶望のない明日のために。もう僕は逃げない。世界から絶望をなくしてみせる。
Crap. Oh crap. Why? Why is there a half-hour wait time? What the fuck is that about? Wait. Oh, we have almost that in terms of anime left.
世界は希望に染まる。そうなれば、もう誰も苦しまない。
Even Toko and Kamaru, no!
誰も悲しまない。
Even Monica, she's still alive. They actually showed Monica again.
誰も裏切らない。
They actually showed Monica again. She's just there, floating in the atmosphere.
痛みもない。
I can't believe they actually did that.
戦争のない平和な世界。
Without despair. Is such a thing even possible?
希望に満ちた世界が来るんだ。
私は雪染め
Oh my god, how are you the narrator in future now?
その才能に導かれるままに
Is this meant to be the
私は
afterlife?
数々の決定的瞬間を見てきた。
This is basically the afterlife.
ここからは家政婦は見たか。
What the housekeeper saw. Okay, that's the Chisa and Junko just chilling in a fucking in a cinema is super weird.
天眼和夫になります。
Mm-hmm.
未来機関のツートップ、天眼と宗方。最初は仲良かったんだけどね。
Yep, yes they were.
宗方が
絶望は殲滅だ
とか言い出して、天眼の方は
争いは絶望を生む
Or something.
仲違いしちゃってさ。ま、仲違いの原因は雪染先生が宗方に絶望を消し去るんだとか吹き込んだせいもある
Words
けど
of
ね。
power after all.
仕方ないか。 あんたはとっくの昔に絶望だもんね。
Poor girl.
で、天眼が見たらいに希望のビデオを使わせようとしたってのがこんな殺し合いの。
It's so weird, like you're killing all your own members. Everyone who didn't give up on despair just to get a video out there.
あんな状況にぶっ込んだら誰でも使
It's
う
kind of weird because I swear in DR2 they said that most of the world's been calmed down now from the tragedy. Like they were actually getting their footing in chilling everything out.
一方の苗木君は絶望の残党となった77期生を仮想世界に送り込み、絶望になる前の姿に戻そうとした。
てか、それも手の
It is, yeah, basically.
それがバレて、苗木君は結果を見届ける前に未来機関へ召喚。それこそが天下の
I guess we'll have Makoto next time because he does kind of need to learn if his plan even
これっ
worked.
てマジ終わってるよね。だって御手洗君を止めても会長が黒幕で殺し合いしてたんだよ。そんな組織誰もついてこないじゃん。結局雪染ちゃんは教え子を絶望に染めて
Yeah.
恋人と偉い人を狂わせて
Was she his lover? You sure about that?
で最後は愛する宗像
Was he really getting it on with a despair junkie?
やるじゃん絶望的に。こうして希望は失われた。希望を求める願いが絶望を生み、祈りは叶わず、愛は裏切られ、何もかもが闇に落ちた。
Basically, yeah.
だから私たちの未来はこれで。
Future is now over.
もう終わっちゃうの？いいえ。
Nice to see that face again.
ここから希望が始まるのよ。
Yep.
はあ？
It's the afterlife, bro. You like the brainwashing doesn't affect you now.
死んでるしね。
I love that Junko legit doesn't care anymore because like, bro, this is the afterlife. Like, I'm gonna start despair here now. I don't care about Earth anymore. So I guess in the Danganronpa world, the afterlife is just like a second planet, you know, there is no eternal happiness, reward, or punishment. It's just, you're all just chilling, you know? You can manifest a fear and watch what's going on in the real, you know, in real life. Okay. It's very weird because, like, obviously with Despair, it felt like a true ending to the series with episode 11. Because the story was pretty much over at that point. But despite not making the next episode officially part of the future series, this actually is an incompleted story without it. Like, this is basically a cliffhanger, which is kind of interesting. Yep. After credit scene. Okay, I wasn't too sure, but here we go. Oh. Really? Oh, hi, hero. I genuinely forgot he was here. Who are we talking to now? Oh. Oh. It's the man. It's the man. Yeah. I'm shocked you're here too, to be honest. A fair point, honestly. Bro just comes in, fixed the problem, gets continued to the hope side. Okay, yeah. Like I said, unlike Despair that really did kind of have its end at that point, Future is very much incomplete without the next episode, which is interesting because I don't think officially... Okay, I guess it's gotta be officially part of Future because there's no way they'd leave this out of, like, the Blu-ray release or anything, right? Like, you obviously wouldn't get it on the Despair disc, but you have to put it on the Future disc. It'd be fun if they had, like, an extra or some bullshit. But yeah, well, you also got the OVA, but, you know. That was the next episode, so this whole weird plot was kind of strange. Some of it doesn't make too much sense, right? Because I swear in episode 1, Monokuma was actually directly responding to things that people said in real time. So the idea of this being like a pre-established plan to use like video footage of Monokuma to set up the game between Makoto and himself doesn't really work in certain instances. And to be honest, the plan just seems kind of silly anyway. Like Tengen's only idea to get Midori to actually like stand up for himself a little bit was to bring so much despair that he has everyone kill themselves. Like that's literally it. That's all he had as the you know, as someone that's like been a part of Hope Speak Academy his entire life, as someone who's instructed and probably mentored a lot of Ultimates over the years, he couldn't find any way to actually get Midori's confidence up to really play the video at all. He couldn't do that. His only solution was kill the very select number of people in the world still trying to end Junko and Ashima's legacy. That's it. This is silly, man. Future is getting very, very silly by the end, I can't lie. But I'm definitely curious to see where it does have its overall conclusion, as, like I said, we're definitely getting Jabberwock Island next episode. We're finally going to see the class that obviously we've been waiting to see since the end of DR2, what they're doing in modern time. Obviously, all we know is that Izuru and Hajime have like fused now to become one entity, but we still don't even know if, like, you know, anyone else that's actually awake, Sonya, Kazuichi, Fuyuhiko, and if anyone else that actually died in that game are awake either. So I'm obviously very curious to see where we do end up going with that. And yeah, it feels very silly. It does feel very silly. The reasonings for why this game is happening, why we're actually doing this final future like encounter with despair anyway. It's like Tengen in a way did fall into his own despair of like becoming so desperate to get hope back, becoming so desperate after seeing so many of the people that, you know, he helped, you know, in a Hope Speak Academy start to kill everyone, that he got desperate enough to realize that the only way to stop brainwashing is to brainwash them harder and in a different way. So that is pretty silly, but yeah, either way though, guys, you know, very interesting. I think I'll leave like my final thoughts of the future arc to the end of the next episode, because while this is interesting, we're not done yet. We still have one final episode to go at this point, and you know, I'm really curious just how we actually do this, you know, because obviously you've got to bring Hajime in, the secondary protagonist of Danganronpa. Kamaru obviously is not going to be part of this, but like, you know, two ultimate hopes, Hajime Hinata, Izuru Kamakura, and Makoto Naegi are going to be established in this episode, and I'm really curious to see how they actually solve the problem of Midori, as we're on a countdown now anyway. But yeah, guys, I think I am just going to get into this. We're going to do one episode left, the Hope episode of Danganronpa, and we're going to see where it goes. So yeah, guys, let's just go into it. Alright guys, we have one episode to go in this anime. The end of Danganronpa, in a sense. Episode Hope. There's no episode count, just episode Hope, basically. And we will begin this in 3, 2, 1, and play. Okay. Let me actually check that, because that's kind of weird that there's nothing coming up here for this. Okay, no, signs and... Huh. Alright, yeah. I guess it's just not there. Oh no. I feel like there should have been something there. But, never mind. Jabberwock Island, baby! Wait, what did that say? form a super high school level assault team. What? We got all these guys sharing one talent as well. No, I mean, technically, Hajime is also the super high school level assault team. So silly. Oh dear. After so long, we're finally going back to Jabberwock, and then next year we'll be going back to it again.
Sensei.
Rip Chisa.
俺大切なものをやっと
Wait,
見つけ
what?
たよ。
Wait, what?
あいつの言う通りだった。
Wait, what?
才能なんてあってもなくてもよかったんだ。
He's a Chisa now?
そこがゴールじゃない。
He's at the Future
で
Foundation?
も今の自分が嫌いなわけじゃないんだ。そりゃこの力のせいでひどいこともしたけど。
How'd he get there?
力があったからみんなも元に戻せた。そう思えば
Really?
悪くない。
Oh, that's so weird, him having both eyes.
やればなんとかなるんだな。
I don't get why he, like, appearance-wise, he looks like Hinata anymore. Like, you know, that luscious, long, black hair that wasn't even his own hair color. Episode Hope. Black and white, that's sick! The end of Hope's Peak High School. Hope arc. The end of Hope's Peak.
みんな大丈夫だった？
ああ、トガミッチが瓦礫に埋まっててな。
And then we didn't see him after that.
余計なことを言うな。
苗木は？
心配する
Who
な。
cares?
俺の舞台を半分つけてやる。
Oh, you're in the pantry. Oh. How convenient you got cover, right? Oh dear. Oh, I recognize that hair anywhere. The ultimate lucky student. Did he just cause an avalanche on them? Luck, baby. Luck. His good luck means bad luck for another. Let's go! No way! He got rid of Junko's arm! He got rid of Junko's arm. He's got a robot arm. Oh man. Whoa! He got rid of Junko's arm!
77期生か。
Yep.
瓦礫に埋まっていた俺たちを助けてくれたのもあいつらだ。
Really?
やはり凄まじい才能だな。噛むくらいいずる。
Well, that confirms they're all awake. Great to see Nagito again. Dude, I can't imagine what that conversation was like when they all woke up. All the shit they did to each other, like, that would have been crazy. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, he's being Kyosuke! He's literally being Kyosuke. What is this nonsense? Super casual music, by the way. You're dead. It's a bamboo sword and you're still dead.
やっぱお前には本当より市内がしっくり
Wow.
ええ、そうですね。
Tanaka-kun? Back with that hairstyle again. Burn the multiverse to ash, eh? That's a lot of power. Gundam is of course a multiversal entity. Gundam, let's go! The god himself! I love how his hair's back to the DR2 one in the wind! Yes! Holy crap. Of course he had to fight a robot. He just had to fight a robot, didn't he? Mini Maru troops. He really made those. You're shitting me. Oh, that's great. He didn't call her Miss Sonia. No.
かっこよかったですわ。
Oh. 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 Yo! Hang on a minute. Yo! What the hell? Actual praise. Actually acknowledgement of his talent. That's insane. Let's go, Miss Sonia. I love that they have all of their, like, classic attire, which are technically, like, they only had at the start of their Hope's Peak Academy years. Yo. Oh, let's go. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'd love to fight with Akane. Just dine and fight at the same time. Sounds peak. Yep. Non-lolly Hyoko. Holy crap! That is a very big needle. For the first time ever. For the first time ever. She acknowledged you and thanked you. Oh, that death fucking. I don't care what anyone says. Speaking of things, you know, I'd want to fuck. Well, I'd want to fuck me. Whoa. Girl, you had a personal space? Super random team up, Maho and Ibuki, though. Oh, sorry, Mahiru and Ibuki. Yeah, he's got all your talents plus infinite more. Give up. So I guess Makoto and Hajime are going to double team him? Like double ultimate hope? He just ripped through that like it was a waffle. What talent was that? He's technically the ultimate animator too. The School of Hope and the Students of Despair, Izuru Kamakura. Love it. Nice to see you after all this time.
この希望は僕が守る。苦しみも悲しみももう十分だ。絶望のない世界があと少しで訪れるんだ。
つまらない。
Oof.
大切な人を亡くしても悲しみも苦しみも感じなくなる。そんなのがお前の考える希望なのかよ。
Yes.
お前みたいな強いやつに分かってたまるか。僕らはみんな弱いんだ。
Bro was literally a reserve corps student. What are you talking about? Ah, they're all here. I like how they... Okay. They all gave in, man. To weakness at one point.
俺だって強くないさ。だから後悔してるんだ。お前もそうだろ？
後悔してるさ。僕のせいで江ノ島純子が絶望のビデオを作った。
Kind of funny, the one classmate of theirs they never even met.
大勢人が死んだ。
Same thing applies to them.
今も毎日死んでるんだよ。
Makoto, you're like so late, man. Your job's already being done by another Ultimate Hope. Well, yes, but aside from Hajime. Chaki wouldn't have died, to be fair.
そう思いたいならそれでいい。
Actually, Junko almost certainly would have killed her.
絶望を消すのか。世界をまっさらにして全部なかったことにしたいから。逃げるなよ。
Please. Don't be a bitch.
これでいいのかよ。僕のせいで、江ノ島のせいで、絶望に染まって。
そりゃ消したい過去だ。でもあいつを。
Forever holding that.
いなかったことにはできない。
Either of them.
あいつのおかげで今俺たちはこうして生きてるんだ。それをなかったことにはできない。
Forever have Chiaki in his heart, as will all of them.
わしらは生き残った。なら罪を償うしかない。
That's fair.
それが生き残るし者の定めだ。
罪を償う。無理だ。償えるわけがない。誰も許してくれないよ。
許されるための償いではないですわ。
そうだぜ。
You're doing it for yourself, man.
わからないんだ。もうどうしたらいいのか。
We got two minutes, bro. Let's hurry this up.
だが
I was thinking, did he change back into
俺たちはみんな
back into him?
違えたんだ。違う。一緒じゃない。僕はずっと一人だった。全部。僕一
You've
人
been
のせい
alone
だった
because you let yourself be alone, man. If you went to class, they would have been, you would have been part of them,
なら
part of the group.
一緒に来いよ。
一緒に。
これからは俺たち
Sure.
も一緒だ。
Like, bro, we got nothing on you. We got no room to speak in terms of morality. We all fucked up.
歓迎しますわ。
ソニアさんの言う通り。
Yep.
俺もいいぜ。したいなら来れば。
Nice, even Hyoko. Yep, I would fucking love to vibe with Gundam, man.
いいことを言うの。
ああ、いいことなんだね。
すねてねえで来いよ。
Nice.
ぼっちゃん
Tsundere.
に同意します。僕のホピンピンも賛成だって。キモいっす。
Actually.
私は
And because of that little prick,
嬉しいの。
we don't even get kind words from
君の才能は
Ibuki.
キラキラ輝いてる
Who made your arm?
前から思ってたんだ。
I actually love that he has a new arm.
そんな資格はないよ。
Where'd the Junko
ク
one
ラス
go?
メートに資格なんていら
Also,
ないだろ。
how on earth did they get Mikon out? That's actually something I'm really curious about, because Mikon died with her memories and like had no regrets. So how did Mikon get undesperified?
行こうぜ。見たらい。
How long is that counter on for? Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. And just like that, even Tengen's hope is lost. Man, all of the authoritarian figures in Hope's Peak got fucked so badly. Kizukura died for protecting Kyoko, so he kind of, or Kyoko, he actually lived up to what he wanted to do. Jin died at the start of the franchise, really. Never made peace with Kyoko, and then Tengen just, well, this happened. And Makoto didn't need to do a thing. They don't even meet. He doesn't even see Hajime. Oh, there you are. I'm not gonna acknowledge him though. Nice to meet you, fellow Ultimate Hope. Dude, I am sorry, they look like brothers so much in this art style. Makoto looks way too much like Hajime in this anime. Hi. Yo, oh my god, Nagito and Makoto is crazy. That's like the main reason I wanted Nagito to live in chapter 6. Let's go, you loser. You're just giving us little tastes of what we wanted in the franchise, right? Because yeah, Nagito and Makoto were like up there, big on my radar for what I wanted. Hajime though, just a little, you know, wink of like acknowledgement, like thanks, bro. I don't know where they're going, like as a class, if they're just going back to Jabberwock, but you know, they're doing their thing. They are doing their thing. Hero was so pointless in this anime. Honestly, Byakuya kind of was too. All that's left now is to like go and get Kamaru and Toko.
僕たちが仕掛けたゲーム楽しんでくれましたか？これでみんな理解したはずです。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. They are. Oh, I love this.
このまま世界が救われてハッピーエンドなんて。
Holy shit. Dude, Sonya. Nagito.
だから僕らは世界をもう一度絶望に染めていこうと思います。
Ibuki.
世界に
Are they playing the role of the villains?
これどういうこと？
助けてくれたと思ったらやっぱ絶望の残党だったんか。
お前はその臭い口を閉じていろ。
Nice. That's an insult for Toko, man.
事件の黒幕が絶望の残党である。
So they're giving the world a person to blame. They're literally taking the blame. Bro, they would get death instantly, if not torture.
ナギ、よくやったな。
うん、僕は何もできなかったよ。彼らがいなかったら今頃。
そのきっかけを作ったのはお前だ。すべてはお前の希望から始まったこと。希望は伝染する。だろ？
Very much so.
犠牲は大きかったがな。
So what are they gonna do then? If they're taking the blame for everything and the world has their target on them, what are we gonna do? He's gone back to Byakuya, bro. Pick a character. I mean, you know, living a life of Ibuki does sound pretty nice, I can't lie. Oh, wait, who was in that shot? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! What the hell's going on in the background there with Kazuichi and Sonya? Are they holding hands? Like, very convenient of Peko here to just be hiding some things, but what's going on there? That's a little interesting, right? Because both in the game and even in the backstory we saw, she didn't like him at all. What has gone on Jabberwock Island since they woke up specifically? Even more reason to want that backstory. Has she finally accepted him as her second man? Because he's never been in first place, let's be honest. Oh, man. Oh my god. You saw me as well.
あの日、みんなが新世界プログラムに入ってきた時、
Now let's go back to it.
みんなを管理するための AI が作られたんだ。それが私。
Yep.
まず、みんなの記憶から管理者にふさわしいイメージを読み出して、それを統合して一つの人格を作るはずだったんだけど。
And even Izuru thought of Chiaki, huh?
でもね、その必要はなかったんだ。
That does make sense because none of the people who made the program even knew of Chiaki. They never met in this show.
みんなには
Which I thought was kind of weird. I figured there was some relation between Chiaki and Chihiro. Appearance-wise, name-wise, obviously. But there was nothing related to them at all.
だとしたら、これはみんなで勝ち取った奇跡だね。
奇跡か。こういう結末も悪くないな。
It's not a good one, but it's an ending.
私が生きて戦って命を懸けたものだもん。さあ行こう。私たちの未来はみんなで作るんだよ。
I'd love that, but there's so limited options you guys can do taking the blame for everything. You might unironically have to stay on Jabberwock Island forever. Interesting though that Narito's actually friends with Hajime now. Because I kind of figured one of the things Narito would hate would be artificial talent, because it goes against like his code of what talent is. But it seems like he made peace with them. Or they made peace with each other. Oh, you're looking quite sexy. Love the coat.
世界には絶望の残党と戦い打ち破った英雄が必要になる。
わかりました。
背負えるか。
Sure.
彼らが絶望を背負ってくれたんです。僕だって背負っていかなくちゃ。
Wow.
希望。
Of course.
これからどうするか決めているんだな。
なんとなく。
What's the next in the Naegi page, man? You gonna go get your sister and, like, the person that kind of hates you?
どこへ行くんですか?
俺も背負っていくだけだ。
Whatever that means. With every support you've ever had dead now.
未来なんて誰も見たことがない。僕らの行き先はいつだって灰色の曇り空だ。
Yes.
希望も絶望も入り混じって。
Oh man, I'd love to be on that boat, chilling with them.
それは
Especially when the options are these two, like, what the hell?
でも待っているだけじゃ何も変わらない。何が起きるかわからない未来の中に僕たちは一歩ずつ進んでいく。大切な人のことを思いながら空を見上げて、明日はきっといい日になるって思いながら。
I'd love to see what their future actually is, because, wow. Interesting, we never actually learned what the video he made was. That video's just lost the time. He's still got her blood on him. Oh man.
ねえ、それ何？バングルの毒の進行を遅くするお薬です。
ちょっと見せて。
What?
これ木村先輩のだね。
Did it?
すごいや。こんな殺し合いの中でも先輩は希望につながる薬を。
How'd she even have the resources to make a medicine?
じゃあそれを飲んでれば NG コードを取っても平気ってこと？ずっと貸し
Oh, fuck off. What?
だからこれを見つけて使った人は
What?
さっき蘇生させておきました。
What? What? You what? 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 You found and revived someone that used it, bro. You know there's a time limit on that, right? You can't just take a drug 5 seconds before you die from a disease. Oh, they got her in the end. Oh god, don't show that face to anyone other than Byakuya. I love that bottle's not going down at all. And the spot where this whole series started. Yeah, same seat and everything. Principal?
今行くよ。
What? What? Dude, what the fuck? They really went back on that, huh? They really fucking went back on that. Like, you know there's a limit to that, right? You can't revive someone when they've already died, regardless of the antidote. Like, bro, Kyoko was gone for, like, hours by that point. What the fuck? Oh my god, what a fucking cheesy end. Like, I love that Kyoko lived, but, bro, you did that with Hina and Kyoko. You teased it, like, what the fuck? Well, guys, that was Danganronpa Hope and the Danganronpa anime. Yeah, that last minute was actually fucking wild. So, like, ironic compared to, like, the message of the series, how, you know, about how much despair brings, you know, after all the people that we've lost, that they actually back out of kicking off Kyoko and us losing any of our like members, you know. It just feels like it goes against like what everything the Danganronpa games are going for. Like obviously I get we don't lose anyone in Danganronpa 2, so it also kind of works in that regard. But honestly, you know, like the despair of losing a character, the despair that this franchise tries to make you feel by losing characters that you're associated with, and obviously you build a connection to have Kyoko come back in honestly a bit of an illogical manner at the very last moment does feel a little bit strange. You know, she was dead way too long for Mikan to come in for an like how did an antidote even be built? Genuinely, how did an antidote even be built from like at that point? There was no time to do that at all. And yeah, it's just I think a lot of the logistics of the future arc do kind of break apart as you think about it more and more. Now, let's not get wrong. You know, logically speaking, it's shit. But as a fan of Danganronpa, I do obviously love the fact that they brought Kyoko back because she's one of my favorite characters. You know, and that's really cool to see. And unfortunately, you know, there won't be anything more of her. So it's like, why even bother in the end to begin with? You know, but it's one of those decisions. You know. It's one of those decisions that feel like they backed out of, which is crazy to do that twice in the anime with both Hina and Kyoko. That's pretty wild to think about. But yeah, because Danganronpa does have its cop-outs per series, you know, usually with the characters not being who you think they are, but at the same time, it's just kind of silly in this case. But yeah, still fun. You know, obviously you do get that kind of happy ending. No one you love really dies going into the anime, which is all cool and whatnot. And yeah, this is a very interesting situation because we've pretty much concluded the story. Ever since Trigger Happy Havoc, the story of Danganronpa is done now, and that just leaves me so confused, curious if there's any connection at all to Danganronpa V3 with this franchise, because I don't know what we're going to do. If we're going to go, like, say, 100 years in the future, where all of our characters are long dead, and, you know, we just begin the killing game again, how the cycle continues in the new generation, you know, that was not Monogatari. A new despair comes along. If it has absolutely no connection to Danganronpa in any way, it's just another entry into the franchise to make people, obviously, a popular IP that doesn't want to die, but you know, just a fan service game for the people to actually enjoy. I do not know a thing about V3, so it leaves me the most curious, because I think one of my big things was that I was curious how you get another game out of this franchise post anime, and we're getting not only we're getting now, but we're getting another one next year. So I'm really curious, very curious to begin this V3 and see what that's about. But to go into Danganronpa, just the anime, you know, I've said it many a time, but yes, very unfortunate. I think the format of the anime, it's a weird thing where I don't know how you'd adapt this to a game if you weren't going to do it as an anime, because the big thing is switching between despair and future. Obviously, that's a weird mechanic that I don't think you can necessarily make work in a video game. But I think the future arc definitely needed something more than what it got to actually fully implement all the pieces that we had from it. You know, there is some things I really like in this anime. There are a lot of things I don't like. You know, I feel like wasted characters are a big one. You know, Byakuya, Toko, Hiro, like, bro, they were not in this anime at all. It really makes me curious now, you know, it makes me curious how far this was perceived as a franchise, right? Because obviously Danganronpa 1 is an entry that kind of leaves off on the idea that you are getting more of the story. It doesn't confirm anything about the world past what Junko's own words are. And it makes me wonder, like, was there any plans to do anything with Hiro after this? Because he's definitely the most useless character that survived in Danganronpa 1, which is why I also think it's a bit silly for, one of the reasons we're not getting a Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc remake is because the reason was that these characters are so integral to the story of Danganronpa that they can't really be switched out. And, you know, I'll agree with, you know, Byakuya, Makoto, Kyoko, and Toko. They're very vital to Danganronpa, but well, to be honest, even Tagami, you know, like, can be switched around, but I'm not gonna go to that. But, you know, Hiro and Hina are definitely two that are very replaceable, and so it does feel a little unfortunate now, given like the full context of what the anime is, that's the reason, when I feel like it's very easy just to implement other characters, because, you know, they're very expendable. And that's not even me saying, you know, just take Celeste or someone else, because, well, I do love her, you know. You know, literally anyone, like Taka, Mando, Mukuro herself, you know, Sayaka, that feel like a lot of characters you could honestly plop in the spot of Hina in this story itself, and you'd be fine. So, you know, unfortunate as it is, it doesn't seem to we'll ever get a Danganronpa 1 remake, which is unfortunate. Not to say we're done, obviously, with Makoto, Byakuya, and Hyoko. Either way, they're coming back in the DR2 remake, because, you know, the chapter 6 has them, and we don't know if that'll be the case for the redo of the story, the new scenario. But either way, we'll be seeing their updated sprites and whatnot, which is going to be very exciting. But yeah, like I said, very unfortunate just how underutilized some of the characters were in this. Tagami, Byakuya, really feel like he could have been something more. He was directly one of the people that was actually part of the Neo World Program project, you know? I get Makoto could have been the face of it, would have been the one to propose the idea, obviously, he is Hope, but to have it where he seems to be fully in power with his own, like, you know, squadron of potatoes from Future Foundation, to have him have no consequence whatsoever and just have Makoto be the face of it is a little strange, especially when you have like Kyoko and Hina right there, which Kyoko's also not on the chopping block for. Toko, you know, she did what she needed to do in Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, and I don't really feel like there was anything to complain about her. Her character did come to a fair conclusion in Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. Monica, that's a bit unfortunate. I don't know what happened with Monica. I feel like they did kind of give up on her. I do like the conclusion that she came to, but I don't like that's literally it. You know, she avoids any punishment. She avoids any kind of responsibility. She just goes off into space, and that's it. You know, and with the build-up that maybe we do set ourselves a little too much on our expectations, the build-up that they actually had Monica here, they had her infiltrating Future Foundation, and the fact that it's literally just, I'm done. You know, same with the Warriors of Hope. In general, like, I don't get at all why I even kept them alive when they did nothing in this anime at all. There was no point at all to keeping any of them alive beyond, like, Kodako. But yeah, unfortunate pieces that I don't feel like were properly utilized, but that is unfortunate, you know. And the ending with Tengen and Mitarai was a little strange. Like, you don't even see like the Ultimate Hope video, which is kind of funny, but, you know, it definitely felt like the most convoluted of the stories, especially with like the Mastermind, which again, a game, you know, a light novel, something to really flesh out these pieces, because I feel like there is a good story in this. There is a good story in the future arc of Danganronpa. It just isn't properly fleshed out because of its limited runtime. So, you know, anything more could have been done with this, and I feel like it would have been a lot better. But that is what that is. You know, it is unfortunate, but I'm still glad I watched it, you know, because this is one of the more, you know, casual Danganronpa fans are most likely not going to see this, you know, like most people I imagine play Danganronpa with a bundle, 1, 2, 3, and then they're done, when there's so much more of the story in there, you know, and this is the conclusion, this is the decisive conclusion to all of our, like, main characters, you know, and it is unfortunate a lot of people do not watch it, but I absolutely did enjoy myself, you know. Obviously, despite my criticisms, I do enjoy a happy ending for characters that I do love. Regardless of the logical conclusions we get to them, it's still nice as a fan to actually see those moments take place. I think it's a little questionable to honestly rebuild Hope Speaking to have Makoto be the principal, which obviously it does connect a lot to the Kirigiri family, which is obviously, he is definitely involved in the Kirigiri family now, so taking Jin's place is kind of cool. At the same time, it's like, this is like the most controversial place in history, literally in history. So the logistics of it actually being rebuilt, even with the Ultimate Hope, is kind of insane, you know? Like, I would not feel safe with another Hope Speak Academy being built, because what's to stop another Junko and Ashima from Horizon, you know? We'll never know. So, very questionable about, like, the fact that it was built, you know, again, because don't think other worlds would other countries would actually like that. Other governments would appreciate that. But obviously, it is a full circle conclusion to Makoto's character going from the nothing boy to the ultimate lucky student, and then into the ultimate hope. And obviously, a former ultimate hope leading the hopes of the new students and whatnot is fine. You know, that's a fitting conclusion, even though it feels a little silly to have that. But yeah, like I said, just uncertain what the ending really was of the Class 77 class. I assume they just go back to Jabberwock Island and that's it. You know, if they're taking the blame for everything that's happened here, then the world would probably be after them anyway, so living in exile is an interesting conclusion. But it is unfortunate for sure. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately a bit of a sour ending, I'd say, in terms of just the overall experience that was the anime. Because honestly, this is one of my favorite franchises I've done on the channel, and might be one of my favorites in general. Because I have absolutely loved the Danganronpa franchise. I've definitely felt an experience playing through all of them. I have enjoyed all of it. Well, I've enjoyed most of it. You know, Ultra Spare Girls and the anime as a whole are very questionable. You know, Ultra Spare Girls I think has a good story, but its gameplay is mid as shit, and you know, it's not an experience that is enjoyable from a gameplay perspective. But Danganronpa 1, 2, some of my favorite games out there, some of my most favorite stories out there. You know, I felt very much just satisfied in every way finishing Danganronpa 2 because it really did build on the experience of Danganronpa 1, and as a result, it became, after that point, it kind of solidified itself as one of my favorite franchises out there, which I think is really cool. Just how many from like visual novel aspects have become like some of my favorites. You got Steins Gate, which is my favorite, and then you've got Danganronpa, which has become one of those experiences. So I definitely feel, satisfied from that. And yeah, like I said, just the franchise means a lot to me, and you know, all my content should be out there, so I really hope you guys do have enjoyed that. And obviously, you know, if you're new or watching this whatever, you do enjoy that as well. And yeah, it's just been really fun. It's been a really fun experience. I actually feel like I can make a separate video going on about Danganronpa as a whole, because I don't feel like right now I'm really in the best state of mind to talk about the franchise as a whole. But I think for the most part, I've said pretty much everything I needed to say on the franchise throughout the course of my playthroughs on it, and so I don't feel like there's need to really go over it more in this scenario. You know, I've loved everyone. I do enjoy the concept of talent and the worth that is built upon that in this franchise. I do like. I am intrigued by the elitist mindset that Hope's Academy does bring for people with talent, obviously. That you're basically an NPC without talent, and if you do have it, you are someone to obviously look to the future to, someone with the responsibility to actually make the future better. And obviously you kind of see that in characters like Makoto, like Hajime, two people that off the bat do not have a talent. And, you know, obviously one that grew into a talent, and one that literally became an artificial talent, you know. I think it is really cool. The premise is very silly, obviously, with Junko and Ashima, but I still love her nonetheless. And it's just been an experience, you know. It's been one of my favorite gaming franchises out there, and I'm really glad that I experienced it. And we're not done. We're legit not done. There is still quite a bit more to go in this. You know, this is the conclusion of a lot of our characters, which unfortunately, like I said, Byakuya, really unclear what's going to happen with him. Toko, Byakuya, they never confirmed that, but this series literally does not want to confirm like any kind of romances really in this, you know. Kyoko and Makoto, I think that's pretty clear that that's canon, even if it didn't explicitly say it. Or each other didn't say it. I think it's pretty clear that is canon, you know. Kamaru and Toko had a great journey. The only thing I really would have liked to see is like more of the DR2 cast post DR2. I feel like that was a really big tease in this anime to not actually show anything of them beyond the very ending of it. You know, because like, what are they up to? How did they actually get everyone out? That was the big mystery of DR2, was the how possible is it to actually wake everyone that did not die in the program to wake up, and they all just wake up and they're all back to their old selves. So it did feel a little convenient to have that. I would have liked one more episode or two to actually show them off, you know. But at the end of the day, I guess it is what it is. But the thing holding me out on that is, again, we're not done with them. We'll see what comes next year, but we're not done. But yeah, like I said, this is the conclusion to everything we've done in Danganronpa up to this point. I don't think we're going to go anything further in the story from this, and again, it leaves me very curious to see what's going to come next. In terms of the future of Danganronpa on the channel, there's going to be more, because I do want to go through the side stories. Ultra Despair Girls had a, like, Despair Hagakure story, which I did not read. At the time I was planning on reading it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, so that might actually give us a decent amount of hero content, actually. Thinking about it now, that forgotten potato. There is the Kyoko side story, which I think is the longest one of them, and I will be doing that at some point as well. And yeah, those are things down the line that I don't have a confirmed date to be expected. But Danganronpa 3 or V3, I think I'm just going to start very soon, because it's mostly because there's more to come. You know, I feel like there's a certain kind of feeling when you get to a franchise like this where you've gone through so much of it and then you reach the foregone conclusion, which is Danganronpa V3. And obviously, you know, if this was the end of Danganronpa, I probably would wait a little bit longer to do it, because, you know, regardless of what it is, it's gonna be unfortunate. There's gonna be that feeling of it being done. There's gonna be that solidified feeling that it's over once you finish Danganronpa V3. And now that that isn't the case, I'm a lot more interested in going into Danganronpa V3 now, because I want to get to Danganronpa 2x2 next year as soon as I can, and I don't want to bleed into doing 2 Danganronpa games at once. So I feel like if I leave it too long to do V3, I'll end up bleeding deep V3 and 2x2 at the same time, and I don't want to do that. So now that there is confirmation that we're going to get a full Danganronpa experience with a new story in Danganronpa 2x2 from regular Danganronpa 2, I feel a lot more inclined to start Danganronpa 3 a lot sooner. And, you know, that's kind of what we're going to get. So Danganronpa V3 should not take very long on the channel to start at all. It is going to be the next game I cover. I know there's Ace Attorney and there's DDLC right now. I have no clue what's going on with them anymore. I don't know if they're even continuing at this point. But yeah, plans, hopefully those two will continue eventually as well, but for now, Danganronpa V3 is something I'm doing solo, so I will be starting that very soon. And obviously, in terms of this, we still technically have 1 episode to go, which is the OVA, and I still have an OVA to do in Steins Gate Zero, actually, so I should be doing that soonish as well. I just know that, you know, like, these VN-inspired animes typically seem to have a lot of, like, they usually have an OVA experience to them that isn't connected really to anything going on in the story, so they're just kind of like weird loose pieces that you can do whenever. And, you know, I'll make sure I'll probably do both those OVAs around the same time that I get to them. But yeah, we'll get to that soonish as well. But guys, this has been my experience of the Danganronpa 3 anime. A bit of a mixed bag. I definitely feel like I come out of this with mixed emotions in them. You know, I don't feel like anything's really beating out the experience that was Danganronpa 2. I think, honestly, if you're ranking them, I probably would go Ultra Despair Girls, the anime, Danganronpa. Oh, wait. I'm going backwards here. Top is Danganronpa 2. Second is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. 3 is the anime, mostly for a lot of the bias to the Despair arc. And 4 is Despair Girls. But yeah, that's kind of the order I go into it. But even then, I come out of all entries basically happy. So I'm thankful for that. But guys, hope you have enjoyed my my reactions to the Danganronpa 3 anime. It's been an experience. And while we might be done with the story of Hope Speak Academy and all of our characters right now, we're not done with the franchise yet by a long shot. So we'll see what's going to come of that. But guys, thank you for watching. I really wish I had some figures or something to show off, like at the end of this, but figures and collectibles and whatnot are a goal later down the line for me, because I don't have the money for that right now. But maybe one day I'll do a dedicated Danganronpa video and I'll show off all my little merchable shit and whatnot, and it'll be a fun time. But guys, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.